wanna tell the truth, man. I just wanna tell the truth, man. You're so fly, you're so high. Everybody run your tongue.
Hello, everybody. It is the 15th of the month, and like I told you, I had a very, very special guest with us, J Senay. That's what she likes to call herself. And y'all, I'm super, super, super excited about this because this is somebody that I've known my whole life, basically. And I've got to see her as she's grown, and I've heard parts of her story, things about her and my mom as they grew up, things that were good and things not so good. And I absolutely love her. And of course, I've never told her this before, but anytime she walks into a room, I can remember, I think it was last Thanksgiving or maybe the Thanksgiving before, and we did like we were in Phyllis Wheatley and we were doing the preparing the dinners. And I remember when she walked into a room, anytime this woman walks into a room, it changes. She is definitely an atmosphere changer. And she's kind of one of those people, you know how the pastor talks about, if you don't change the atmosphere when you walk into a room, then you're not doing what you're supposed to do. So you're doing what you're supposed to do, because when you come into a room, your smile and the energy that you bring definitely brightens me up. And I definitely admire you and everything that you have going on, especially since I do know some of your story. And so today, I just really want her to flow and kind of tell you how she became to be the person that she is, because so often, the ones of you who haven't been taking this journey with me the last month and a half, this is Walking Miracles. This is the show. This is where we talk about not just, we talk about living life. We're talking about people who have been through things, who continue to live life and not just live it, but to the fullest with a smile and positive energy, because sometimes it can get you down. And so I started this whole show simply because in a time in my life where I wasn't feeling that great and I wasn't feeling like myself, there were so many people who poured into me and let me know that they too had been through things. And even though you go through things, you still can come out victorious. You can still come out on top, and that it's not always going to be that way. And so I wanted her to share your story, because I want you all to know that we're all in this together. We're all in life together. There is nothing that you have been through or that you're going through that someone hasn't already been through or gone through. And I just want us to share our stories. That's what Walking Miracles is about, how we became who we are, because some often people like her, she's an atmosphere changer. You look at them and you look at her and you go, wow, oh my gosh, I can't believe that she's so amazing. But you never think about 15-year-old J Senay, right, and where she came from and how she became to be the person that she is, because she wasn't always the woman that we see today. And so I just want her to tell us some of her story, who she is, where she comes from, if she wants to share some of the things that she's been through. And of course, she already makes her own videos, so she's definitely a natural. I watch some of them. And so I want you to just go ahead and flow and tell us about yourself.
Well, first I'd like to tell you thank you for having me.
Thank you.
I am honored for you to be in my home today. I affectionately call it the baby pent.
The baby pent, yes. You got to speak it into existence.
Right, because I look forward to owning a pent one day. So, what this will do for right
Listen,
now.
y'all, while she's sitting here being modest, I walked in here like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. Like, she has it decked out in here. So I'm ready to see what the penthouse gonna look like. Because this is just the baby pent. So, baby pent. Yeah.
And I like sharing it with people too, because one of the things that you said about me from the beginning was me walking into a room and people not knowing where I came from. And I oftentimes get people think that I'm all that. I hear it all the time. And I come to declare that I do.
Yes,
I really, really do. And I don't say that in a boastful way. I really don't. I'm boasting about what God has done for me. But when people tell me that, they usually want me to succumb.
Right,
they want me to.
Right.
They want me to
dumb it down.
They
a
do.
Little bit.
When they be like, you know what? People be like, they think you all that, and my response is like, what I do.
Yes.
God bless you.
Yeah.
And I tell them that, in a fashion that is acceptable, because you really should think highly of yourself. And I don't mean in a way that exalts yourself, but in a way that you know what God has done for you. I think it's a shame that I have to tell people everything that I've been through for them to celebrate where I am.
Exactly.
So I usually have to tell people that the reason that I feel that way about myself now, and it was prophetic a moment ago when you said 15-year-old, because my mom died when I was 15 years
Oh,
old.
wow.
And immediately after she died, my life changed. Prior to my mom's death, I lived this glamorous life. We had just come back from Europe. My stepfather was in the military. Prior to my mom marrying my stepfather, she and my dad were married, and both of them were college students. They went to
Okay.
Allen and
Yeah.
Benedict, and my mom went to 3 colleges.
Yeah.
And
Keep going.
my mom went to 3 colleges in Columbia. She went to Allen, Benedict, and USC. So
Okay.
my parents were career college students.
Right. Right.
So I lived a really, really good life prior to my mom's dying. But when she died, and the way that she died, unexpectedly, she
Right.
didn't talk to me about her going to have a liver transplant, and it may being life threatening.
Right.
And so I started using drugs. I had never seen anybody use drugs. My mom, she would have socials at the house,
Right.
grown folk stuff. But my mother didn't use drugs. She wasn't a wild woman. She was a beautiful woman, a smart woman, a driven woman. But as soon as she died, I know that I needed a void. That I needed something to fill my void. And so what I did is I started using drugs at an early age, at the age of 15.
Wow.
And by the grace of God, I've now been clean over 22 years. Yay!
Yes.
So I started using at 15 years old, and the last time that I used any mind-altering drugs was July the 18th of 1995.
Okay.
So I've been clean ever since. So when
Right.
people say that to me about, and I want to encourage somebody that if you're extra like I am, because I am, I used to feel bad about that too, baby. People were like, you're so extra, and it would work. Every time people would say that to me, I would say, okay, so chill out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would
Dumb
say
it
fall
down
back.
a little bit.
Yeah,
Don't
you
do
know.
too much. Don't
Yeah,
overdo it. Yeah.
And I've lived long enough now that I celebrate my extra, and that's just a part of my personality.
Right.
I'm gonna say
And it's there for a reason.
It is.
God gifts us with different things, different parts of our personality, and it's there for a reason. You shouldn't have to dumb down who you are for anybody, because the people who are meant to be there are going to accept you just the way you are, extra and all.
That's right.
Yes.
Absolutely. But I learned that they would say that to me because they wanted me to digress so that they could be
Right.
okay with themselves. And it doesn't work anyway. So in my extraness, I've done some things. Since I have 2 boys, they're 17 and 20, and no, they're not.
I want them to be 17
Oh
and
my
20.
God.
I
Where
was
did
about
that
to
come
say,
from?
they my age. I don't know.
That is so interesting to me.
Yeah. I was
I
about
don't
to say,
even know
I
why
don't
I
think they
said that.
17 and 20.
No, they're 27 and 30.
Yeah.
I had them at the age of 17 and 20.
Okay.
That's what I was going to say.
Okay.
So I had them when I was young, and I had a boyfriend in my life that he sold drugs. I was looking for somebody. I was looking for a way out.
Right.
I was looking for a way out. For years, I looked for my mom to come back. And I recently had the opportunity to speak to a group of people at a conference here at the Marriott.
Okay.
And one of the things that came up when I was sharing it with them was that I remembered for years, I waited at the window of my grandmother's house expecting my mom to come back. So for a long time, I couldn't accept the fact that she had died.
Yeah.
So what I would say is that my mom had left me. And the reason I talk about this a lot is because I also have a movement on my own. I'm a licensed minister of the gospel. So I've been preaching since 2003. I was called into ministry shortly after I got clean. And I did my initial sermon in 2003. And J Senay Ministries, Inc. has been launched, as well as the Queendom Movement.
Okay. Wow.
And yeah.
And I know you sell the T-shirts.
I do. I
and
have
all
the
that
affirmation
stuff.
tees for women.
Yes.
And the T-shirts are about empowering little girls. And it's about empowering the little girl inside of you
Right.
that has yet to be matured.
Right.
And a lot of people, when I broach that subject to them about that's possible, they're like, wow, what do you mean by that?
Mm-hmm.
And for years, I struggled with a lot of issues because when my mom died, I died, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So at the age of 15, it was almost like I stopped progressing. It was almost like I stopped growing.
Right.
And so what had to happen is I had to,
Grow up.
that's what I had to do.
You had to grow up.
I did.
And that's so important because I'm glad you said that, because that
Mhm.
kind of sparked something within me. I mean, growing up in general, a lot of times, not only when you haven't grown up, but when you don't really do what God has called you to do, there's still parts of you that you have yet to even touch. There's parts of you that you don't even know about. A lot of people, because a lot of people tell me, of course, I'm not extra. I'm a little bit more reserved. And so I need to be extra. But that's the thing. I'm a lot more reserved. However, like when I'm doing these videos and when I'm talking to people and when I'm flowing and what I'm supposed to be doing, encouraging and inspiring, people are like, oh my gosh, I didn't know you could even talk. And I'm like, yeah, y'all, I have a voice. I can talk, and I have a lot to say. I'm a reserved person. However, when I'm flowing and when I'm doing and touching those parts that God put in me, then something else comes out. And so there is a little kid inside of all of us. There is a person inside of all of us that God is just waiting to develop.
That's right.
And so that's another thing. I'm so glad you said that. And that's why I wanted to bring so many different people to the show, because we all have different perspectives to offer. And I hope that this helps you, whether you're going through something or whether you just, enjoying the show and just taking little nuggets to mature that person or that little kid, that little girl, that little guy within you, and be the person that God calls you to be, whether it's extra, reserved, or whether people don't think you can talk until you do, or whatever it is, because that's so amazing. And I thank you for sharing all of this, because like I was telling you, I've heard, parts of the story, and I've heard, all of y'all shenanigans and all of that stuff, but, you taking it back to where it started and where it came from, it shows that you've done the work, that you know what happened.
And that's what I like sharing with people. Do the work. You have to do the work. You have to. And that's one of the things that I share with people often, because people do ask me, because I do want to kind of digress from that a minute for a moment. And when I say that, because I talked about me being extra, because I wanted to make sure that people knew that I live a life that's out loud. But the truth of the matter is that there was a time in my life that I was really out loud because it was a mask. And so what I did is I had a facade up. The facade was that I was okay with me. I was this tough girl. I used to fight all the time.
Them the stories I heard.
And any time that somebody came up against, and what I learned from doing the work is that I didn't fight because I really could fight. I really was fighting because I was afraid. So anytime somebody got really close to me, anytime that it felt threatening to me, then my response was to fight. And I know you've probably heard that before, flight or fight.
Yeah.
And I didn't run. I would fight you.
Right.
And the truth of the matter is that I was really a scared little girl. And so what I learned was that there was a certain amount of that I got off when I used to fight. But the truth of the matter is that as a result of me accepting Jesus Christ into my life as my Lord and Savior, what happened is that I really got in touch with the fact that I was afraid to receive love. I was afraid to receive it, and I was afraid to give it. And so what I did was, most of the time I stayed angry. I was angry all the time. That was my disposition. I was so mad at God. I was mad at my mom for dying, which I said left, but she really died. And I was mad at my stepfather for bringing me here to Greenville, and he left me here. And he said that he left me here because he thought that was best for me. But at that time, and I believe him, he did what he thought was best for him and for me at the time. But at that time, I was angry at him. I've done the work. I'm not angry at him anymore. I'm not angry at my mom anymore, because I do know now that she died and she didn't leave me. But I've had to do a lot of work on me. One of the things that I wanted to share to somebody, because there may be somebody who may be believing, because I go to church. I love the Lord. I told you I was a licensed minister. I was recently ordained last October at my church, Rock of Ages Baptist Church here in Greenville, South Carolina, Pastor Terry A. King. I have my own Queen of the Movement. Been doing hair for over 30 years. I've had several salons and beauty shops. I've done a lot of stuff in my life, up to this point now. But the thing that last year, I made the decision that I needed to go see a therapist.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so I'm like, Senay, why are you going to see a therapist? All right. Because I couldn't talk about that with everybody.
Yeah, because they don't understand.
They don't understand what they do, because I don't buy into when people tell me I don't know. When people tell me they don't know, I tell them that's not true. Get back with me when you want to come from that place of unknowing. Because every time I say I don't know, that's my way of copping out. When I say to you, I don't know, that's because I can't tell myself the truth. Yeah. And when you can't tell yourself the truth, you can't tell others the truth.
Absolutely.
And so I had to go to the therapist, because I started seeing that even though I wasn't using drugs anymore, because I got clean and I loved going there. And so, one of the things I forgot where I was getting ready to go. When you get my age, baby, that'll happen to
It's
you.
all right. You was talking about going to a therapist.
Going to the therapist.
There
I was
you go.
telling you that I had been doing a whole lot of work, but I had started seeing that even though I hadn't used drugs in over 22 years, I told you, coming up on 23.
Right.
July the 18th of 2018 to be 23 years, but I still saw that I had addictive behavior. How was that possible? Because dope was just a symptom of my problem. I had to start looking at what was really going on with me. My brokenness. You know, what was going on? Why did I keep? Because I look forward to being married. I've never been married. You see all of this? I look forward to being married, right?
Yeah,
Look,
y'all.
hey,
Somebody watching? Somebody might see this
That's
video.
The plug. I'm single. My own plug. I'm single, right?
You gotta throw the plug.
Right, that's the plug.
Yeah.
But I look forward to being married. But I started looking at how my relationship with people, because I would like to tell you it was just with men.
Right.
That's what I used to say. It was with men because something was wrong with them. My relationship with people, I started to see was distorted.
Right.
Because if you get real close to me, I'm thinking that eventually you're going to leave because of the way that my mother left, died. She didn't even leave. She died. Mm-hmm. So I started going to the therapist, and my therapist has helped me
to work through.
Yes, and it has been awesome.
Yes, that is amazing that you say that, because like she said, it's taboo.
It is.
Well, it once was. You know, over the last year, 2 years, you see a lot of people coming out and talking about the mental health. And it doesn't mean that anything is wrong with you, but just having somebody who's experienced, who knows how to help you unravel those places that are really trapped and weaved and hidden. And like she said, when you were saying about the I don't know, people say I don't know. Well, when I get mad, and I just thought about myself, when I get mad, the first thing I'll tell you, I don't know nothing about nothing. I'll say that all the time. I don't know nothing about nothing. They be like, well, what's wrong? I don't know nothing about nothing.
Because you don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. I want you to get out my face. Like,
Why
I don't
can't we
know.
just say that though? I wonder.
I don't know.
Because it's really okay to say, I don't want to talk about it right now.
Yeah, I guess it just sounds better just to, say, well, I don't know.
It's a cop-out.
Right. Like, you don't really want to say, you're getting on my nerves, get out my face. And you don't really want to say what's wrong. So you just say, well, I don't know. Just, yeah.
I don't know.
So that's important that, we all think about those things. And if there is something going on or something that you notice that you necessarily can't work out on your own, but you just need somebody to talk to converse with, because that's all it really is. A therapist is just kind of like your confidential friend, the one that you don't have to worry about going and running and telling the whole neighborhood and the whole town about what's going on with you.
That's right.
And so going to a therapist, there's nothing wrong with it.
That's
and we have to understand that. I know, like I was telling you, what even sparked this show, when I was going through that really, really, really tough time, I didn't go to a therapist because God actually sent someone to me where I was at to help pull me out of that dark place. And I thank him for that, because I kind of stayed cooped up in the house. I isolated myself completely from a lot of people. And I had somebody to talk to, somebody that could be my confidant, and I didn't have to worry about them going and saying anything, and somebody who didn't judge me, because sometimes you just need a judge-free zone to say the stuff that you need to say so that you don't feel crazy, because we do that to each other. We very well understand that there's things that go on with all of us, but somebody will tell you something, you're like, ooh, you did that, you felt like that, honey, the Lord, blah. It's like, girl, the Lord gave us these desires and these feelings. Feelings are basically just signals to you that something is off. That's all they are, and it's okay for you to feel however you feel. Even the Bible tells you it's okay to be angry. It just say don't stay that way.
Don't say that.
Yeah, so it's okay, and you have to go and work through those issues, and that's amazing that you did. Even just saying, hey, I've been clean for 20-something years, but I still have addictive behaviors, and admitting to yourself, hey, maybe it's not the people, maybe it's me, maybe something wrong with me, because if everything ends the same way in my relationships, all of those people were different. I'm the only common denominator amongst all of those people. So maybe it's me. And there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't make you bad. It doesn't make you evil or something wrong with you.
That's right.
It just means, hey, I have some things I need to work on, some things that I haven't worked out yet. And that's okay. I was looking at this singles thing the other day, and I saw a young lady, she posted something. She said, you know what? I realized that I've been that toxic person my whole life, and that I need to get free. And that's how you get free. You have to first admit it. You can't keep denying it. You have to admit that you are not free and you need to get free. And so thank you for that. Thank you for telling us that. So once you did the work and you went to the therapist and you got everything kind of settled out, where are you now? What are you doing today after all
I'm a miracle walker now.
Yes.
It's like, and that's why I've been able, what I'm doing now is I continue to tell myself the truth. I love the word of God. I love how there's different interpretations or different what's the word I want to use? Versions. And so you have the NIV. I like the King James Bible says that the truth will make you free, and I like that particular one because a lot of times we could say the truth will set you free.
Right.
And when something has been set free, it can come back to that place of captivity.
Yes,
it happens all the time.
Yeah.
You've been set free, but you still will come back to that place of bondage.
Right.
But when you've been made free, it's different. That means that's the way, that's my DNA. That's the way I'm cut now.
Right.
That's the way I'm set up. This has been made like this, all right? And so I like that.
I never thought about it that way, but that makes sense.
Oh, I do. I'll be like,
you
no,
set something free,
I don't just want to be set free. I want to be made free.
Right.
I want God to make
yes, I'm going to have to put that in
me
my
free.
brain and in my mind.
Yes, you do. Because when you've been made, if he makes me free,
right,
he's not going to, God, he ain't going to take me back to bondage.
Right.
Senay, I've made you free. So I do a lot of work now. I tell myself the truth. I try to make sure that I don't get involved in a lot of other people's stuff. And what I mean by that is that I do a lot of, mentoring people, and I love life coaching,
right.
But I don't get a lot involved. One of the things that I do with people often when I'm talking to them is that I tell people, do the work. What about you? I don't let people come to me and talk about you. I get them real quick. What was your part in it? And so that's what I do a lot. I make people mad a lot with that too. You know why?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people like to come talk to me about me. Maybe my family member, or maybe my good girlfriend, or maybe somebody that whatever. And I'm the one that has to say, what was your part though? Don't let me be the reason for you not being your best self.
Right.
And so I've done a lot of work. I do a lot of, I'm here, I live by myself. And so I spend a lot of time by myself.
Right.
In this season in my life, I've accepted the fact that I like the way that I think. I like where I like to go. I like where I like to eat. And so I spend a lot of time with myself, looking at myself, asking myself a lot of questions. Senay, what's going on with you? Are you okay? How are you feeling today? I check in a lot with myself. The other day I was talking to somebody. Oh, the Holy Spirit is so sweet. And we was talking about flesh issues, right?
Right.
Sex and, whether it be drinking or whatever your flesh issue is.
Right.
And I was able, the Holy Spirit brought it up in me, and I was able to share with the sister that we talk a lot about flesh issues, but let's talk about some blood issues. And so she said, what you talking about? I said, I'm talking about them issues that's been running through you. I'm talking about literally blood issues. And because Jesus' blood was so powerful, it was his blood that redeemed us. And for me, that made me understand that he knew that it was a blood issue. Like, my children are going to be dealing with blood issues, generational curses, stuff that they saw their mother do or their father do. Some stuff that we see people do, babe, is because that's what they saw done. It's pattern stuff. It's a learned behavior. We like to call women that we see promiscuous, we like calling them whores. We like calling dope boys bums. We like calling men who got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 children trifling. We like calling whatever. But we don't know what the blood issue is. Right. We just looking at the flesh issue, but do we take the time to see like what's really wrong with that person? That man who doesn't know how to care for his child. He don't even know his daddy. Right. That woman who we see running around with man after man after man, that's what she saw her mama do.
Wouldn't it be amazing?
Wouldn't it be amazing?
All of us thought that way.
Wouldn't it?
Because we would help so many people. Because when you met somebody, when you encountered somebody, you wouldn't look at them as that promiscuous woman. You would look at them as just another woman, just like you, who deals honestly with the things that we all deal with. They just deal differently than we do.
Theirs might be a little more open.
Yeah, and
that's open.
Right.
Yeah, but you go home and you do. But
whatever, there you go.
Right.
There you go.
You go home and eat too much.
Yeah.
With your round self. Okay. Listen, let me hush.
Yes,
Look,
yes.
before I get in trouble with my mouth.
No.
But it's the truth.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is. It is. And we deal with each other so
Mhm.
harshly.
Me too.
And we know that we have issues. And
Mm-hmm.
I like going back to what you were saying when you asked people, well, what was your part?
What's your part?
That was another thing that I had to do. It's like you almost been in my conversations with me and the Lord.
Okay.
It's because, like, in the last season of my life, one of the reasons why I was going through so much is because of failed relationships that I had been in, whether it was a friendship or actual romantic relationship.
Right.
And I would say, like, at the very beginning of it, the start, I was like, well, they did this and they did this and they was doing this to me and they did this and I finally, the Lord was like, well, you let them do it.
Right.
And what you do?
Right.
Because you ain't innocent, honey. Right. What did you do?
Right.
And that's why I actually posted a message talking about playing God. Because I got a God complex. I love to help people. And I will put my whole life on hold. I will tap into my finances. I will do a whole lot of stuff to help somebody else. And a lot of times I wouldn't even pray about it. So he began to show. Wow. Yeah,
you ain't got no permission.
Yeah, no permission.
Right.
And then I can't figure out why I'm sitting here. That's why I'm sitting here crying, figuring out like, well, Lord, I was just trying to help
you
him.
You ain't asked my permission.
And it was like, girl, who told you to help
That's
them?
Right. That's
Maybe
right.
I just needed them to go through that. And here
That's
you
right.
are in the way. So since you was in the way, I had to tap you, get you out the way, and then continue to do what I was doing.
Right.
And so he began to deal with me, and I stopped looking at what they did. And I had to look at my part, my role. How did I allow this to happen?
Wow.
Because I had to give them permission to do those things. And then how did I contribute to it? Once because a lot of times, let's be honest with ourselves, we realize like something's wrong. We realize it's not right. We realize we should move on. But then we just sit there because like, well, Lord, I don't really, trust that. For me, my issue personally was that I didn't trust God. I kind of felt like, well, if I let this situation go, I'm never going to get another one. I'm not going to have the opportunity again to start another business. I'm not going to have the opportunity again to be in another romantic relationship like this one. And actually, that's good. That's good that it won't be like that one. Because I need to grow. They need to grow. I need to be better. And I deserve better. And so I had to deal with myself. And so I like that when someone comes to you, it's like, okay, you're right. I did do this. But what did you do?
What did you do?
Because that's when you open yourself up that way, God is able to deal with you. He's able to show you how to get better. Because I found that myself moving from situation to situation, not getting better simply because I was looking at what they were doing, but not what I was doing. Right. I didn't look at my role. And although, they may have wronged me, they may have hurt me, but I hurt them too. Right. I said things, I did things, or I acted in certain ways. And sometimes I didn't even realize I was doing it.
Oh, and we hurt God.
Yes.
Because a lot of times we want it to be about, or we're looking at what we may have done to them or they did to us. But there's some covenants that I've come into with God. I've made some agreements with him. I've said to him, God, I'm not going to have sex until I'm married. God, I said the next man that I make love to is going to be my husband. I've said to God that I'm not going to be talking about people on the telephone. Right. I've said to God that I'm not going to get caught up, you know what I'm saying, in other people's. And when I say stuff, like when I know that it's foolishness. Right. That's what I mean. I'll go to somebody that needs me. She might need me to help her. I'm talking about foolishness. Right. You know that it's just not of God. Yeah. Because you're not able. Because sometimes I got some people in my life that I've yet to mature to the place enough where I can tell them the truth. And so until I can tell them the truth, you need to stay from over there. Because when I go to them right now, I'm still connecting to them where we used to operate out of. You down and they, to their left. But that's when you really have done some work. When you can tell yourself the truth. When you can say, I haven't matured to the place yet that I found my voice to be able to tell this person the truth. So when I go over there, I'm just sitting and being a yes girl. That doesn't work well for me. Okay? So until you can get to the place that when your little girl has matured enough, Senay, you need to stay from over there for a moment, get postured, get positioned, let God tell you what it is that you need to do, because ultimately it's God that I don't want to disappoint. Right. I remember talking to God about this guy disappointing me, and God was like, yo, let me tell you about how you disappointed me. And I was like, huh? Yeah, popped off. Like, wait a minute, what do you mean? Yeah. He said, but you told me. I was like, really, God? I'm talking about my hand to God. I lay right there on that Chase Lounge there. And I said to him, really, God? Like my thing was, I wanted the little girl. I wanted the little girl on him. Like, God, I'm hurting right now. And he was like, yeah, but so am I. He was like, yeah, I know you're hurting, but so am I. He disappointed you and you disappointed me.
Because the truth be told, if you hadn't disappointed God, you wouldn't have been disappointed in the first place.
That's the God honest truth.
And sometimes you just have to admit that.
Yeah.
And roll around in the flow and
You know,
shed your tears.
You voided it
and
out.
just, yeah.
You
just
voided
be
it
done
out.
with it.
It's equivalent to you. You gave me a blank check and I wrote it out for $5,922 million. It's a good check.
Mm-hmm.
And then I voided it. That's what I did when I did that. It's the same. The principle the situation may be different, but the principle is the same. God had given me his best and I voided it because I didn't do what he
You didn't
I didn't get no
uphold your
permission.
end of the bargain.
Mm.
And you didn't get no permission. Because you was like, oh, I like him. He real cute. Right. The Lord will approve.
Right.
The Lord will approve.
Right.
The Lord is sitting there like, no, you ain't. Hold up. We ain't talk about this.
We ain't talked about
Actually,
this.
no, I don't approve. And I'm telling you I don't approve.
Right.
And I know you hear me.
Right.
You hear me. And
You
you just
hear
be
me.
like, no, that ain't the Lord.
That's right.
I'll never forget. It's the funniest thing. Because sometimes, like, we shock ourselves. I told the Lord, I said, Lord, if this guy's not meant for me, if he's meant for me, let him wear a blue shirt. And I said, if he's not meant for me,
signs and wonders.
let him,
Ah!
I said, let him wear a red shirt. Yo, why he came with the red shirt on?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And guess what I did?
What you do?
I voided it out.
Yeah.
I voided it out. I
You
didn't
voided it
listen. I was like, you know what? That's
it.
stupid.
Yeah.
The Lord wouldn't make him wear a red shirt just because I asked him to make him wear a red shirt. That's stupid.
Yeah.
I'm still going to go forth with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then a year ago when I was going through my rough time, that red shirt came back and popped into my mind.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So what you're saying is you believe that God did show you that sign?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
I asked for it. Honestly, when I saw it, I was like, oh, gosh. Then I was like, then I voided it and I said, you know what? No, that's stupid. He didn't tell him to wear that red shirt. Yep. Yeah. He just told, that's stupid. He just got a lot of red shirts in his closet. He just picked the red one for today and it's perfectly fine and I'm going to move on. And like you said, now, at a point in time, I was disappointed. Because I didn't listen. I asked God if he was for me to make him wear a blue shirt. Mm-hmm. If he wasn't, make him wear a red shirt. The shirt was red. It was real red. It was real red. It was real red. Like a big stop sign, like stop.
Right.
And I was like, oh, that's stupid.
So you're saying what? That you could have gone forth with him or shouldn't have?
I shouldn't have because I did. You
shouldn't have?
No, I shouldn't have.
Okay. So, because you had said to God, if he wears a red shirt, he's not for me.
He's not for me.
Okay, that's the part I was missing.
Yes.
Y'all. Okay.
Yes.
Because
if he wear the red shirt, he's not for me.
Oh.
If he wear the blue one, then he is.
Oh.
He wore the red one.
So you asked of God.
Yeah.
And
I prayed about it.
Oh. And then when he answered you.
Yeah, I thought it was stupid. So I voided it out. I said.
Okay, I'm back on track now.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I got my butt tapped for that one too.
Real good.
Real good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't it worth it?
It was.
We don't have to go that way. Because, I got my godmother, oftentimes, she used to share with me, baby, you could take the long way or the shortcut. Mm-hmm. And the shortcut would be her, she would tell me, because I've done this for you already. Right. And sometimes we do have to take our own way. I mean, it's sad, but, I ain't gonna even say it's sad, but it's true. I'm going to say sometimes we just have to. I know now that you have to mature to the point where you can trust other people's experience to help guide you. Mm-hmm. You really do have to mature. You don't just get that because you trust people. You have to mature to the place that you trust God. Because that was immature. Mm-hmm. That's all it was. Yeah. It wasn't so much about you couldn't hear, but you just hadn't matured you asked something of him that you thought that you had matured in, but you really. Yeah. That's what I need to be asking God.
When he said it, I was just like,
now that's what we need to be asking God. No. Am I ready? Am I really ready to hear from God?
Because he might say some stuff you ain't want to hear.
That's what I need to be asking him sometimes.
He might ask you something you ain't want to. Be asked of like, Lord, I didn't want to do that.
Am I really ready to hear from God? Can I hear from you?
See, look, I don't came here to give y'all a nugget or two, and I don't got some nuggets and had some good conversation. Yes. And so as we close out, I want to thank you all for watching. Yes. And I just want to, any last little nuggets or tidbits that you want to give the audience about things that you had to do or lessons you learned that would help them through a tough time as they grow?
Well, I guess the last nugget that I would like to share is that if you have not accepted Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, you might just want to do that.
Yes.
I'm in a time now, we are, but me in particular, I'll say it me, I'm gonna keep it personal, because oftentimes I'm around people now. I don't know if you've experienced this, who, we got these woke up people. They tell me they woke.
Oh yeah,
Those
they
people,
woke.
they woke, they telling me to stay woke. My sister, you know what I'm saying? That's the white man's God. And you know what I'm saying? My sister, you need to stay woke because he da 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 da. And listen, God bless you. May heaven smile upon you. Everybody has the right to the own. I don't have no problem with y'all that's woke, who don't believe that Jesus the Christ is who he is to me. You got the right to that. But I do not have the right. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't tell anybody that their God is not real.
Mm-hmm.
I know that my God is real because on July the 17th of 1995, when I had enough, when I tell y'all I had enough, I was mad at God. I'm talking about I was mad at God. But it was that day that I said, check this out. If you really be God, that's how I was too. If you really God. I was mad that I had to go to him, but I had tried everything else.
Right.
I had tried drugs. I had tried boys. I had tried clubs. I had tried everything that I could try. If you really God, come see about me. Not only did he come see about me, he gave me the courage to get up because I was hanging out with this dude and, we was getting ready to fly to New York City and we was getting ready to have this, I had 2 little boys at the time and I wanted to go home. And I was like, God, if you really be God, he gave me the ability. I told the guy, listen, I'm not going. I'm going to go home. The guy called me a cab, gave me some money, sent me home, and I have not had the desire to use drugs ever since. Marijuana is a drug. Alcohol is a drug. It's a drug. It's a drug. Sex can be a drug. Food can be a drug. It's some people on here, y'all. We want to talk about crack smokers. They're crackhead. That's drugs to people. Crack and meth and heroin. Marijuana's a drug. Alcohol is a drug. Cigarettes is a drug.
Right.
Food is a drug. It's a whole bunch of drugs. Whatever your drug is, that's your void filler. Try Jesus. That's what I want to share. Cause somebody right now might be watching this. They might be getting high. They might be drinking a beer. They might be smoking a blunt. They might have popped pills. These pills are taking over. They might be sitting at home eating. I watched that TV show, 600 Pound Life.
Mm-hmm.
And most of those people on there, they're not even hungry.
Right. They're just eating the cold.
They're feeling the void.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, we so rough on each other, man. We see, you know what I'm saying? When I see a woman that's obese, I need to lose some more weight. I work on it every now and then let life come up, honey. I eat some groceries. I do it too. You know what I'm saying? I look forward. I still want to lose 50 more pounds. Mm-hmm. I've lost some weight, but I still need to lose some more weight because those people on that show, like I was saying, they not hungry. They feeling the void. Try Jesus. That was the best thing that could have happened to me. I'm woke. It was Jesus the Christ. It was who I called on July the 17th of 95. That's the one that I believe that answered my prayer. That's the one that has afforded me the opportunity to come from where I used to be. I was a woman. I thought I was on Section 8 food stamps, public housing for the rest of my life. There's nothing wrong with that living. If you're using it, if it's a crutch, not a crutch, I'm sorry, but if that's a means to you getting better, do so. Because at that time when I first got that assistance, I did need it.
Right.
But then after a while, I started abusing the system because I had somebody, my son's fathers was living with me. He was selling dope. Y'all, everybody don't want to hear my truths. See,
we're gonna have to do a part 2.
Everybody don't want to hear my truth.
We're gonna have to do a part 2 because every time you say something, I'll be like, oh yeah, and we gonna have to because we're gonna be here for 5 hours just talking about the whole. Yes, because that's a whole nother issue.
That's a whole
within itself.
So I'm a miracle walker. I live in my own home and at my own God has been good. God bless y'all. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank y'all so much. Remember, every 15th of the month, we are going to have a new guest. I'm going to have to bring J Senay back because she was saying a whole lot of stuff and I wanted to say more, but I don't want the show to be like 5 hours. So we got to do a part 2. But definitely thank you so much. And as you just go throughout your week, remember that you are a walking miracle. Mm-hmm. And that if you've messed up, if there's something that you've done or you're going through something, you're not alone. We all do it. Even with the smile trials, and the most amazing person that you know, they've been through it too. It just has taken them time to do the work.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, sometimes you might admire them and maybe they haven't done the work.
Right.
And so you just have to keep that in mind as you grow and as you mature, that it's okay. And we all in this thing called life together. And remember, don't be so tough on others. And just think about all those times where you needed somebody, just a smile, an encouraging word, and continue to be that walking miracle that you are, and walk this thing out.
Yep.
And I will see y'all next time.
God bless you all.
Everywhere you go.